How stupid can you be? How pathetic and ignorant do you have to be to continue to be taken advantage of by people who absolutely 100% admit to doing it? These really bad car salesmen of the grift, of the outrage. You continue to support them and you love, I think it's a fetish at this point. I think that you guys actually love being taken advantage of. I think that's the reality of it. If you had a dating profile for outrage grift content in the bio, instead of pronouns, it would say, please take advantage of me, ! Because I'm an idiot. It keeps going, because I'm an idiot and I will believe anything they tell me because they echo my values. That's what it should say on there. If I were a betting man, I would assume that. Because here you have Endymion, just like a lot of these other channels, who are jumping on this CONCORD situation. And let me very quickly explain what happened here. So CONCORD is a game that I didn't even realize had been released because they did an awful job of promoting the game. It's from Sony. It's being shut down. They're refunding the players because the interest just isn't there. Now, this is a game that, from what I could tell, I did a little research, has been in development for almost a decade. It's very boring, generic. It looks like just every other game in that genre, but not as interesting. And to be quite honest, myself and many other people had never even heard of the game. That's neither here nor there. I don't really care. The game is shutting down. They're refunding people. Everybody that spent money on it, you'll get your money back. I haven't even seen anybody upset that the game is getting canceled, particularly because it just doesn't look like a very fun game. However, I want to read this tweet. And the funny thing is he puts a little disclaimer in here, which I think is hilarious. But I'm going to read this tweet and then I'm going to explain to you why you should be reconsidering taking part in allowing yourself to be taken advantage of. And when I say that, I'm talking to the people that support this kind of content. Because y'all, there's something it's not right. I don't know what it is. Something isn't right. And you've allowed them to, when I say them, I mean these guys, you've allowed them to take fun out of your lives, just in general. So let's get into this tweet. And like I said, there's a funny comment in here where he's trying to talk about people like myself who love to call him out on his shit with a passive aggressive disclaimer. So he says, I just want to say in terms of CONCORD dying like this, that the modern audience does in fact not exist and going woke has never been more true to be a fast way to go broke. Let me explain the ignorance in that statement, just in general, right? So how do you explain the other diverse games that have been successful, the other diverse projects that have been successful? Is it just once in a while go woke, go broke, just in general? Or is it this situation where I can see through your shit, and I'm always right about this stuff. I can see through your shit, and a lot of people can see through your shit. You find a target, you cast your net very wide, and you hope that you get a bite. You hope that target gets hit. And if it doesn't, you just kind of move on with it. But the one that does hit, then you claim like there's some cultural revolution over it. And you do all of this while giving fake purpose and value to a bunch of inconsequential people that support your content. When I say inconsequential, that is not meant to disrespect anyone in particular. It just means that there is no culture change in place because of these guys. Because if there were, that would mean they're leading that cultural change through activism. And based on this post, they're not activists, right? They're not activists. So if you're not actually doing anything, then you cannot be part of a change and you can't be part of claiming victory if you're not an activist, because this is not someone working in the industry. Okay, let's continue. And here we go. So you'll see the usual weirdos on the other side. I guess it's me, who are going to read this tweet because I know they lurk my profile a lot. Actually, I don't. I just typed in CONCORD to see what some people were saying. Yours popped up because it's getting traction because you're latched on to people that read bounding into shit. And try and spin the story, but it won't work. There is no spin to the story. The game just didn't look good. It's not because it's woke. It didn't look like a good game. And again, I don't see anybody supporting it or going crazy. I haven't seen anybody doing that. All right. Here's the part that I think is really interesting. If you go after identity politics and activism, truly from the bottom of my heart, place my balls on your mouth and shut up. You are losing and we will take back the gaming industry. That's really interesting. So you don't specifically talk about what the detailed points of those activism and identity politics are, meaning you're speaking very generally, broadly, like you guys typically do about everything. You're very general and broad about stuff, and you're ambiguous and vague, wokeness, DEI, identity politics, activism, because you don't really know what the fuck you're talking about. It's more about making money for you. So let's look at the definition of activism. I'm going to read this here for you. It is an action of using campaigning to bring about political and social change. Which, my dude, is exactly what the fuck you say you are doing right now. It is what you say you are doing right now. If you are talking about pivoting in a campaign to take back the industry because of people coming together, that is activism. Congratulations. Congratulations, you are an activist, and all the people in your community are admitting to being activists. And you know what you're doing it on? You're doing it based on the values of the identity of the people who are supporting you, i.e. identity politics. So you are going against activism and identity politics with activism and identity politics. And instead of calling out what those values actually are, you are placing activism and identity politics as some big, nebulous, vague thing, which is complete and utter brain rot, because either you know that you're a hypocrite, you know it's a double standard, or you're too stupid to understand. And I would probably say you're too stupid to understand. This year has proven how powerful the community is. Look how many woke flops there have been. Keep denying it. We will win and we will prevail because of activism, Endymion, right? You're being an activist about this. By the way, what about all the woke things that succeeded this year? Like, I don't know, X-Men 97. I think Star Wars Outlaws is getting some pretty good reception on that. There's other things that have came out that have been quote unquote woke and they've done well. So I guess, again, that whole idea that you just keep shooting at targets until one of them lands and then you claim victory on that, even though you did the very least. You've lined your pockets with tips and donations. You've lined your pockets with ad revenue. How much of that has actually gone back into your activism? What have you done actively other than just making tweets and making videos and sitting on podcasts? What have you done? You guys claim to be making social change. What kind of social change are you doing? What is your goal and what have you done in terms of that goal to actually make change other than telling people something is woke? What have you done? And when you say woke and stuff like that, a lot of times you just pick random shit. You just pick random shit. You have not done any, you've not gone and petitioned anything. You've never had boots on the ground anywhere. You've never really done anything. So it's more like virtue signal activism for you. It's more like we're just going to say what people want me to say so I can make money off of it. And then once in a while when something falls down, I'm going to take credit for it. It is scumbag behavior. It's weak ass shit. And you guys participate in a bunch of weak ass shit all the time. We're going to change the industry whether you want it or not. The players have the power more than ever. Right. So again, more activism talk. Keep it up, everyone. You're winning. If you guys don't know, this is kind of in the playbook of grifting people, scamming people, controlling people. It is giving them a purpose, giving them a reason to do what they do. And it doesn't matter if that purpose is real or not. All it requires them to do is make you feel like you're so special. And nobody likes being catered to and pandered to more than this community. They claim that representation doesn't matter and that people shouldn't care about it. Yet all they do all day long, and I literally mean this, on every video, on every live stream, and every tweet they make, is scream about the fact that their identity is not being shown in the media and the material that they're engaging in, and that someone else is. They want representation more than anybody else, while gay people like myself and other marginalized groups have just had to take whatever gets thrown our way. And then when it happens now, even in the tiniest bit, this is the kind of reaction from the snowflake community over here. At the end of the day, a lot of people don't give a fuck about CONCORD. I'm one of them, but I didn't give a shit. I didn't even know it was out. And when I looked at the game, I was like, it just didn't look interesting to me. And that's fine. And the more diverse media we start to see, the more likelihood that those diverse projects will end up being canceled or something will happen to them. That's just the nature of math. That's the way it works. If you have 5 projects and 3 of them have some sort of diverse elements in them, it is a likelihood that if any of them fail, one of those 3 might be a diverse project because of the simple math percentages. which means the more you see of it, the more likelihood it is going to happen. And they're going to keep claiming victory like they control how math works. Stop letting these people take the fun out of your lives and tell you how you should feel about something and claiming victory over some purpose. There's a lot of people who love to cheer these guys on that never had any intention of buying Concord and never had any intention of going to see that movie or watching that TV show, and they don't engage in stuff in a big way anyway. So it's a bunch of people that do nothing. They do the least they can do possible and then claim victory like they fought some battle and fought some war. The results are circumstantial and they know it, and they don't care because they have people locked in.